So for that extra $200, the iPhone 13 Pro gives you a number of things that you don't get with the regular iPhone 13, like the more advanced camera system, the 120Hz ProMotion display, and even a little bit of extra juice as we found in our battery test. But one of the things that kind of sticks out on the spec sheet is not only does the Pro model get the best version of the A15 Bionic chip with a 5-core GPU instead of a 4-core GPU, but it also gets 50% more RAM at 6GB compared to just 4, which at least on paper makes the iPhone 13 Pro sound like it's going to be significantly faster. Now, whether or not that actually translates into real-world speed, well, there's only one way to find out. This episode is sponsored by UGREEN and their new 100-watt charger, which is powerful enough to charge a MacBook Pro, an iPad, an iPhone, and an Apple Watch all at the same time. It does this through its combination of 3 USB-C ports and a convenient full-sized USB-A port, making this charger so much better to travel with compared to having to pack 4 different power bricks, which always feels a little ridiculous. The charger intelligently divvies up its 100 watts of total power across its ports, allowing you to fast charge multiple devices at the same time, or if you want all 100 watts of power for a single device like the new MacBook Pros, you can do that as well using one of the 2 top ports. And the cool thing is, with support for 9 different charging protocols, including quick charge and power delivery, this one charger is going to be compatible with fast charging most of your devices, whether that's an Android phone like the Galaxy S21 Ultra or Pixel 6, or even if it's a Nintendo Switch. You can learn more at the first link down below in the description and get a special discount using that offer code. Alright, we'll kick things off like we always do, starting the stopwatches on each phone and then jumping into the first row, where, at least in Facebook, the 2 phones load the application at almost the same rate, and here in Starbucks, it was even closer. So heading into Microsoft Word, the phones are performing almost identically, which doesn't really come as a surprise given that they do have the same CPU and storage speeds, and so far at least, those 2 things have been the biggest factors. But as we move on to the second row, there's a chance that we see that extra GPU core on the iPhone 13 Pro play a role here, with us editing the same exact photo here in Snapseed, applying not 1 but 2 different filters to the photo before exporting it out to storage, where once again, there is no difference. We'll see if that changes here in Filmora Go, where each phone is tasked with exporting the same exact video project, where no, the 2 phones are exporting the videos at identical rates, meaning heading into the browser test, the 2 phones remain neck and neck. Now, while the iPhone 13 Pro hasn't been able to pull ahead here, this doesn't mean that the GPUs aren't being taxed in any of these apps. Each time we load up an application, the GPU is being used to bring up the application's assets, but that load is so small where the extra GPU horsepower isn't necessary. And it seems to be the same even here in the gaming row. So more than likely, I'd say the real point of that extra GPU core on the iPhone 13 Pro is to support the more advanced camera system, along with powering the higher refresh rate, which we have found to tax the GPU more for even simple things like scrolling than a 60Hz screen, since the phone is technically rendering twice the frames, which obviously makes the iPhone 13 Pro feel a lot smoother, but in terms of raw speed, not just the perception of speed, at least in this first lap, there's no difference in the performance between the iPhone 13 and the 13 Pro. The 2 phones completed all of these tasks at nearly identical rates, with them each finishing the first lap in 1 minute and 57 seconds. But now we're on the second lap, where the 2GB of extra RAM on the iPhone 13 Pro may actually make a difference here, since the last time we tested an iPhone with just 4GB of RAM, it wasn't able to hold all the apps open in memory. But so far, the standard iPhone 13 seems to be doing just fine. But there you go, it fails at keeping Subway Surfers open, allowing the iPhone 13 Pro to take its first real lead in this entire test, with it just sailing through the remaining apps, as the standard iPhone 13 fails to keep the browser ready, and it also fails to keep the video editing app ready, allowing the iPhone 13 Pro to make its way to the finish line, keeping all 16 apps open and ready to go, clocking in a total time of 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Meanwhile, the standard iPhone 13 iPhone with its 4GB of RAM continues to struggle here, with it also failing to keep Microsoft Excel open. But it does manage to keep Microsoft Word open, as it does with Starbucks, and it also keeps Facebook open. So it's not all bad, but still 22 seconds behind the Pro model, making the winner and technically the faster version of the iPhone 13 Pro. Anyways, that is it for me in this video. Thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the very next episode.